90s when I was a kid, you used to look out the window, it had been snowing, you'd say, yay, let's go out and play. 2021, climate change, 10 years left, stay indoors, stay safe. Have adults always been this stupid? We get told a lot of information, don't we? Particularly through the media. Some people actually depend on that information to influence them on how they should be thinking and how they should be feeling. They're called victims, whether they know it or not. And yet, the narrative that we're so often told is far from the actual reality of the situation, like our current situation, for example. How many reports have you seen about how angry people are? Because based on the conversations I've been having and the feedback and the comments, people are angry. How many reports have you seen to actually reflect that? I don't remember seeing any, and yet that seems to be where we are. People are angry at the growing divide between the control that they used to have from just being able to go on a break or see friends or go down the pub or just do something that used to break that Groundhog Day, to now the control and the freedoms and the liberties just being absolutely stripped away day by day, and people are angry about it. And how many reports have you seen that actually reflect what people are thinking? I haven't seen many, if any. Have you? Maybe, in fact, part of the reason why people aren't meeting in pubs, cafes, churches, where people get together and have conversations about actually, really what's going on, rather than the TV telling them what's going on. Yeah, there's a growing divide and people are angry. And do you know what? Anger isn't necessarily a bad emotion, is it? It's like any other emotion. If we get controlled by any other emotions, including anger, then we end up in trouble with it. And with anger in particular, if you end up internalizing it, it's not a good place. It's not a good situation to be in. And that's why when you can externalize your emotions like anger and channel it, it's not necessarily bad. How can we do that in our current situation where we feel like we haven't got any control, any freedom, any liberties, or certainly very limited freedoms, control and limited? How do we do that when we feel so out of control, when we feel so angry? Well, have a look at the narrative that's being put out through, again, let's say the media. Have a look at it and say to yourself, well, how can I regain control? Because what is the narrative and the agenda that they are trying to force down my throat? And how can I defy that? How can I rebel, if you like? Call it whatever you like. Whatever it is that's causing you to be angry, how can you do something opposite to that? Well, so far in the media, so far in the news, so far the narrative tells you absolutely nothing about your well-being, about your health, about how to stay healthy, about how to feel a little bit better mentally and physically. No, you've had none of that. In fact, what you have is the opposite of them forcing fear, anxiety, stress, and all these emotions down your throat that are there to control you. So how do you rebel? How do you get back a form of control? Do the opposite. Stay healthy. Get out. Stay mentally and physically healthy, because they are intrinsically connected as much as you can in this situation. Is it hard? You bet your sweet ass it is, but anything that is worthwhile doing is bloody hard. And those emotions, they're going to promote them, because it's all part of keeping you in perpetual fear or anxiety, or the news that you might read, or the headline. All of it is designed to do exactly the same thing, which is why they're not so keen to tell you on all the good things that you can do. Just a bit of exercise, for example, just a bit of doing something a little bit more mentally challenging, doing something a little bit outside of the norm, something that breaks the monotony, something that breaks the Groundhog Day type pattern. They're not going to tell you all that. So if you want to channel your anger, you want to do something about it, you want to rebel, you want to defy, you want to do something about how you feel, and do the opposite of what these people are saying. Do the opposite. Because if you want to frustrate them and get it working on the other side with you more in control, then do the opposite of exactly what they're saying. If they're not promoting good health, they're not promoting good physical and mental health, if they're not promoting anything that is good for you, make sure that you do it. That's how you rebel. You're in control. Ta-ta.